Hey there, Misha. So we've got another set of essays from you. Great. Let's take a look at what you wrote here today, okay? This is one about online translation apps, benefits, and the disadvantages. Here's what you said. The issue of overusing web translation services has grown in importance over the last few years. Although these applications can be of great value when it comes to inexpensive processing of large amounts of text from various languages, it must not be forgotten that the quality of translation leaves much to be desired. Okay, did you see what I did? You had a comma here, but you can't use a comma right after although. So what has to happen is it has to flow straight to the end of the clause, which is here, and then you can put a comma. So get rid of that comma, and then it works just fine. Let's see. So here's the thing. You've kind of taken you've definitely addressed the benefits. You've definitely addressed the negatives. And let me just tell you what I understand about your position from this sentence. It sounds to me like, on the whole, this is what you truly believe, that the quality of translation leaves much to be desired. And so, in other words, you're telling us that the disadvantages are stronger. And that's basically because of how you structure this sentence. It's like you've got this concession here, this first part, and then this is on the whole what's stronger. So, let's see if what you actually wrote in your body reflects that, because if it doesn't, then you really need to look at how you structured this sentence. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let's take a look at what you wrote. Since the inception of the machine translation, it was clear that this technology would make a significant impact on people's lives. This is owing to the fact that by using web translation apps, we can easily go through huge quantities of text in multiple languages. In addition, it can be done in here you need a fairly cheap way. For example, not only is Google Translator multilingual, but it is also able to process up to 5,000 symbols at once in a matter of seconds, not to mention the fact that it is free to use. Therefore, it is clear that there is a considerably strong case to be made in favor of online translation, as it helps work with significant loads of text in various languages and often free of charge. That's lovely. I really like that paragraph, and I want to tell you a little bit why. First of all, the grammar was very nice. I didn't see any mistakes. It was absolutely accurate, and you had a couple of really nice pieces of grammar. So, I liked this. This was complex. Okay. And then here you had one of my favorite grammatical structures, which is inversion. You used it perfectly. Okay. And then you had another complex sentence here, all right, with this, therefore, as it helps, and so forth. So it was lovely. In terms of vocabulary, you had a lot of nice things, too. You used words like inception, let's see, in a matter of seconds, a strong case to be made in favor of, significant loads of text, so free of charge. So all of that is really, really nice, okay? And I'm really quite pleased with it. And of course you use some good cohesive devices too, like this, and okay, and I'm sure there are others, but like I said, it's just very well done, so good job. Despite, hold on, get rid of the. No, actually reverse this. So it should be, despite all the advantages this technology may offer, there is a large drawback. Let's try that again. There is a large drawback. How about this? Regarding the low quality of translation. I think that would probably be a better way to do this. This is due to the fact that this kind of translation does not take into consideration context, relying solely on literal interpretation of words, resulting in an accurate translation and loss of the meaning, which can have further implications and even fatal consequences. Okay, that's pretty intense, but I have a feeling you're going to tell us why you say this. But it's beautiful. I mean, context, literal interpretation, inaccurate translation, loss of meaning, further implications is nice, fatal it's all beautiful. It's very nice. So, for instance, if technical manuals or medical prescriptions are put through online machine translators with an S, more often than not, the translation would be inaccurate and ungrammatical, consequently leading to further implications. Okay, here I think you could have said a little more because you had this super intense expression here with the fatal consequences. And a couple of things happened. You said more often than not the translation would be inaccurate. Why are you assuming that? What you needed to do is you needed to hedge this argument a little bit. You need to say that there is a risk that the translation will be inaccurate. You shouldn't assume that it will be inaccurate, but you should simply have said that there is a risk of inaccuracy. And this could be extremely detrimental, especially in the case of, you know, heavy machinery or delicate equipment, or of course, you know, medical prescriptions or even medical diagnoses. Okay, so so extreme care needs to be used with these online translations. So I think you could have said a little bit more. Okay, and again, while I liked a lot of the vocabulary and everything, I thought your other paragraph was a little stronger. You also had this awkwardness here. So I think I've been pretty clear about what you needed to develop a little more. I do think you need to get into a little more specifics here. Okay, so, and there's one other thing I want to talk about, but I want to read your conclusion before we go back into that. So, the advantages of machine translation are invaluable for everyone who needs here. Fast and cheap translation from multiple languages. Nevertheless, it should be used carefully as quality of translation is not perfect yet. In the future, with the development of artificial intelligence, online translation will become more and more accurate. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's go back to what I wanted to talk about. Remember what it says here, benefits and disadvantages. So let's take a look at what these benefits that you talked about are. Okay, now it seems to me that you say it can go through huge amounts of text and it's also inexpensive. So you've given me two benefits. But what have you done here in terms of the disadvantages? It appears to me that you haven't talked about disadvantages, but only in fact one disadvantage. You say that it is this low quality of translation. Okay, and then you go into considerable detail about what that means. But in fact, it's just one disadvantage, and so you have to be super careful about this, okay? It did say advantages, or rather benefits, and it did say disadvantages. So that means you really have to provide more than one here, okay? I think we've talked about this essay in considerable detail, so you know what some of the strengths are. There were a lot of strengths. It was very strong. But this, as I said already, was weak. And there was some awkwardness, again, in the beginning. It needed a little more development. But on the whole, it was lovely. There's one last thing that I want to leave you with here. And it's, again, the answer to this question, do the benefits outweigh the disadvantages? I still am not clear. Because look, we talked about this in the beginning, that just based on the way you structured your question, your thesis, that you thought that the disadvantages were more. Okay, you talked about the advantages first, and then you talked about the disadvantages. So again, that leads me to think that the disadvantages are more. Okay, and then here, it's still not clear. Okay, so you talk about the advantages, and then you say, nevertheless, they're not perfect. So if I had to answer somebody and say, okay, well, this is what this writer believes, I'm not 100% clear. Structurally, and the way you even organized your introduction, I'm tempted to say that you think that the disadvantages are more, but you never come out and say it clearly. All right, and so that's something that you also should have worked on a little bit more. Okay, it should have been clearer. That's how you feel. All right, so let's take a look now at your task one. Okay, so here it is. It's the letter for the cover letter. Okay, let's see what you said. Dear Sir, Madam, I am writing to apply for the position of a Senior IT Network Engineer currently being advertised on jobseeker.com. Please find attached my CV for your consideration. Okay, nice, but get rid of that comma. It should just be, please find attached my CV for your consideration without the comma. As you can see from my CV, I have over 7 years of experience working in the right here, the IT industry. Having a computer science degree obtained at MIT, as well as being a Cisco Microsoft licensed security specialist, I am confident I could be a valuable asset for your company. Okay, lovely. Being a proactive and hardworking person, I have always been up to undertaking new challenges. Once I saw the advertisement, I knew that this can be a great opportunity to move forward in my career. In my current position, of a junior network engineer at IT Solutions Limited, I've been in charge of the development of IT network infrastructure for over 20 successful B2B projects, 2 of which were created and launched for international companies such as Ford and Airbnb. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to hearing from you yours faithfully. Okay, this is nice. I do like it. I thought your grammar was extremely accurate. So let me do it this way. Grammar, very, very good. Vocabulary, very, very good. A lot of nice expressions once again. You absolutely covered the bullets. Okay, there's no question about that. And it was really clear, even the way you organize this, like, bullet 1, bullet 2, bullet 3. So you did all of this really well. One area that I wasn't really super thrilled with was this part right here. I understand here that you were trying to cover bullet number 2, which is energy and enthusiasm for the job. I felt kind of like it wasn't either developed enough or it wasn't linked well, but it did feel kind of choppy to me. Okay, I have always been up to undertaking new challenges. Fine. I thought you could have linked that better. I'm not really sure how I would rephrase this, but just link it together to show that this job with, this company is exactly that kind of new challenge that you're looking for, one that you're really passionate about. Maybe because, you're very interested in this company and you've been following them for years. So I felt like it needed a little something extra and maybe just making that link here a little clearer. Okay. But really, it was very, very well done. So I'm really, really quite happy with this. You're doing really well. So go ahead and correct these, return them back to us, and let's see what you do with your next set. Okay. Good luck.